I think it's time to do another review of the Rsx Type-S. You know, ever since I purchased this car, it pretty much just sat in the garage. I didn't really do much to it. The only places that I've driven this car was to places that I've taken it to have it repaired, fixed, or stuff like that. You know, like when I got the car painted, obviously I had to drive it to the shop. When I had the springs installed, things like that. But otherwise, it's just been sitting in my garage. And here and there, I would add stuff to it. I would, you know, install the kit. Overall, it's still the same. And that's probably why I haven't really put any miles on this car. And so it's obviously kind of challenging to give a full review because I haven't really been able to daily drive the RSX as much. You know, I haven't been able to drive where I normally drive, you know, whether it's going to like LA or Costa Mesa or wherever it is I always drive. Even though I've kind of talked about these modifications in the past, I want to kind of go through them again now that I've kind of had a few months to sort of think about this car and how I feel about it so far. Because I put springs on this car, so I thought maybe if it was a 2-inch drop for the front and the back, that it would be, you know, equal. But you know, I haven't really used springs on my cars since I started fixing up cars, and I've always used coilovers. And one thing I realized about this car, and I've mentioned this before, is that, you know, the rear is a little bit lower than the front, and so it would have been better if I got springs that were higher in the front. Or does it make sense? No, higher in the rear, so that way it'll be pointing this way. But right now, with the full tank of gas, I just noticed that there's even more of a gap. The wheel gap here is bigger on the car. See, it's got still got that 2-finger gap, which really is annoying for me. I really don't like that. I wish it would be lower, but I can't really adjust it because I didn't get coilovers for this car. So here, it's not even a finger gap, and now that I have a full tank of gas, it's a little bit noticeable that it's lower on the rear than the front. So, you know, that kind of bugs me a little bit. But we'll see if I could learn to live with it, right? Because this is a daily driver. If I don't, then I will probably switch to coilovers next time. So I know I talked about the springs before. I don't have nothing against them. Ride-wise, ride quality, it's not that bad. It's not that bouncy. But it's just aesthetically speaking, you know, I wish that these springs were higher than the front so it would look equal. Because I'm not used to that type of look, you know, with my cars. I always had coilovers, so I always was able to adjust them. And that's not the case with the RSX. So that's something to think about, whether I could live with these springs looking like this, or if I would have to go coilover one of these days. I had these lights installed, and you know, they're cool. The only thing about these lights, they're really hard to adjust. And I don't know if it's because they're aftermarket and they weren't designed like the stock headlights. So I have to kind of keep tinkering with the lights to adjust them, the height. And so far I haven't really been able to adjust them quite right as of yet. So I need to find time to just kind of make a few minutes or so and just at night in my garage or something and just start trying to align the lights, make sure they are the same height. But that's the only gripe I have with these headlights, the adjustment. They don't seem to adjust quite as easily as the stock headlights. As you can see, I have the car repainted, you know, so it's cool, right? It makes a difference as far as the car is concerned. Obviously right now, you could look at it, there's no nicks, there's no scratches. In fact, I mean, I haven't even really driven this car on the freeway yet, so I don't have any stones or blemishes or anything like that. And I haven't really parked it in the mall, so nobody is door dinged me as of yet. So that's another thing, right? It's kind of like a new car feeling, because once you get that first ding, first scratches and blemishes, then maybe it won't matter so much. But right now, I don't have any of that yet, so clean. See? Right. Right, again, I had this repaired, so you can't even tell that this was damaged. All the dents, everything was fixed and then repainted. So yeah, it's pretty much like a new car, I guess. We'll see what happens when I start really daily driving this car and start putting like dings, you know, not from me, but from other people who would park and not care, right? They will just probably just ding your car. You know, wasn't sure if I was gonna get used to this type of look with the two-tone, but it's actually not that bad. I was considering maybe adding something like this on the front as well, but I don't know yet. But it kind of gives it a little bit of contrast, so it's not bad. My only concern about this is that if I was like to open the door, right, and somebody might accidentally step on it, boom, boom, right there. So that's my only issue. That's my only issue with that, is that you could step on this, right, and it might get damaged because there's only like a screws that's holding it up. The visor, you know, and like I said, it wasn't perfect, right, but it does the job. It seems to stick. I haven't had any issues with it, even though it just has a double-sided tape. It's not like my Evo. My Evo had visors, but it had clips on it, so those won't come out. But this one, so far, it's been solid too, so I haven't had any issues with it. One thing I added that I maybe haven't talked about yet is the windshield wiper delete right here. The windshield wiper did look kind of weird up here. I feel like I needed to take it out. It looked like I wasn't really using it anyway, so and it wasn't hard doing the windshield wiper delete. You just basically have to take it out from underneath and then put this piece, which really didn't cost that much. Okay, so I'm gonna do the wiper delete, and I took out the wiper right here. Put a delete right here. Yeah, wiper delete. Just that. So like that. So you gotta tighten it up. Let me see if I can do that. There. That's really all you have to do to have access to the windshield wiper, is to take these out, this one and these, and now I'm putting it back on. So put the delete, the rear wiper delete right there. Obviously this tail is stock, you know, and I just thought it was something that I needed to add, because that's how I remember the RSX, having this tail. And it is big. I know it's big. Kind of reminds me of the Evo tail too. Let's look at the interior. So the interior is still cool. The only thing that bothers me is this one right here. Like it has the fade. The interior on this, I think it's classic RSX. And for this car, because this car is really clean, right? With such low mileage on it, only 45k miles. And so that's why the leather, you can see it still looks nice and new. See? All the seats, the interior. And I just think it's premium, you know, compared to like the FRS. The FRS interior is kind of plain. And you know, aside from the leather, it doesn't have like a power sunroof like this one. And yeah, so it's kind of nice. Maybe what I would do, I might replace the this thing, the shift knob. But other than that, I'll probably just leave the interior alone, kind of keep it nice and classic like this, because what else is there to do? It's a daily driver, and I like to keep it clean, you know? So, as I've mentioned, you know, I took out the air filter that I added because it was acting up, you know, it was making weird noises and sucking noises. I know it's normal to have certain types of sucking noises, but the noises that I was getting from that air filter was different, like there was some kind of leak. Noise there, trying to figure out what that noise is. It just didn't sound right, so I put the stock air filter back on, and that weird noise went away just like that. And I don't really feel like it has much of a difference. In fact, I feel like even with the stock air filter, it drives more efficient than with that aftermarket air filter that I added. The only thing was the sound. The sound was a little better with the aftermarket, but then again, it started making all the weird sucking noises. So that's why I'm keeping it stock for now, because eventually, like when I sell this car, everything's gonna go back to stock anyways, right? And with this car having such low miles, this car is still gonna be worth something, you know? So I'm gonna leave it like that. If I do add another air filter, it would be like a brand name or whatever. Then I would add other things to it too. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it alone. And another thing is, you know, what I like about this motor is that it doesn't have the cricket sounds like the FRS. Well, let me turn on the motor too, so you guys could hear. So it doesn't have that cricket noise that sort of been bugging me with the FRS for so long. I mean, brand new car, right? I mean, it has that sort of cricket noise that I just never got used to. But this, it kind of has something like that, but no, it's not the same, you know? It just sounds like a regular motor, especially for a 19-year-old car. Because these wheels are not, you know, I got these used, like I said, and I got a deal for them. I mean, I don't even like these tires. These tires are what, Lexani? I don't even get tires like this, you know. I get at least Toyos and stuff like that for my cars. I really don't need to put wheels on a daily driver. I just found this deal, so I went for it. But Now, if you guys know me and you guys watch my other videos, you know that with all my other cars, I would always get brand new wheels and tires. You know, like with the FRS, you know, I had the Graham lights, right? I red Volks. And those weren't cheap either, you know, and they're quality wheels, right? I always try to go quality. With the, you know, Evo is the same thing. You know, I go quality on there. I mean, even the GTI had quality wheels on there. So, but again, this is a daily driver, so the Inkeys would work. You know, my preference was to get, you know, RPF ones, but that's if I get them brand new. And I got these used with the tires, and these tires won't last that long because, you know, I'm gonna replace them anyways, right, with better tires. Okay, so let's go ahead and go for a ride and see how this car feels. Yeah, my only complaint would be it's pretty quiet. This car is never going to be as quick. Well, I shouldn't say never, but it's not going to be as fast as my GTI. You know, considering it has a stage 2 tune to that car had what, over 300 plus horsepower to the wheel. So this car won't even get that close unless I put a turbo kit or add other stuff to it that's really major. And I'm not going to do that because this is a daily driver.
Oh, here we go. You want to know what's special about this? That is for reals. All right, bye guys.
So that'll do it for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. Till then, drive safe and keep on rolling.